South Africa is known for its ability to overcome and conquer. Our biggest victory to date is putting an end to the apartheid regime and establishing a united country. Today, we'll look at crime as a challenge that can be overcome when each and every one of us play a role to put a stop to it. This week, we bring you stories of victims of crime that often go unnoticed in the taxi industry. Taxi violence is more than just a hashtag on social media. More and more people are affected by it on a daily basis. Some don't live to share their experiences. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of Bophelong. My name is Bule Mulebati. I sat down with Cindy Radebe, who is speaking out for the first time after the horrific rape incident known as the so-called quantum rape.
Why am I dressed like this? Why do I put my lipstick? It seems like we are attracting these people.
These are the sentiments of a rape survivor speaking out for the first time, 4 months after the perpetrator stripped her of her self-worth, dignity and privacy.
I felt so small, and at the same time I feel so dirty, and I'm trying to hide my face with the hat, you know. At the same time I'm hungry, I'm weak.
This is Cindy Radebe. Cindy is one of the 22 ladies identified to have been victims of the so-called quantum rape, the horrific, demeaning and invasive act of crime that left her as just a statistic of gender-based violence that happens in South Africa daily. Cindy was on her way to fetch her daughter when she fell in the trap of a quantum that was disguised to be a form of transportation on that street.
So I took a taxi and then I asked, is it Tipara? And they said yes. And then after that, in the taxi it was 2 guys and the driver. So like they were all acting like they don't know each other. And you know, taxis come, like they don't come, like they're not busy, that road is not busy basically. So I took a taxi and then the driver was like, yeah, it's Bara. I got in. I was chatting to my sister on WhatsApp, telling her that I'm on my way. It was 9 a.m. The guy that was sitting close to the door actually took out a gun. And he was like, driver, when are you just gonna drive? We're gonna tell you where you have to go. And then the driver acted like, you know, he doesn't know the guys. And then they pulled me, they put me at the back seat of a quantum, shoved me by that small space, and then they were like, you are just gonna keep quiet. They took my bag, took out everything. And then, after that, the guy that was holding a gun kept on like rubbing my thighs, you know. The guy was like, Pagamisi Kanda, and then I did. He said, do you know the place? I was like, no, I don't know this place. It was just reeds all over, it was reeds. And he was like, okay, this is where you are gonna make love to me. And I was like, you know, I was confused. At the same time, there's a gun, what am I gonna do? And then after that, he said, come out of the car. I came out. All I could think of was my daughter, you know. I didn't think of anything. I didn't even think that this is going to be my last day or any. All I said was, my daughter, that's it. Because I'm on my way fetching her. What is it going to be if today I don't get to see her? When I called her and said, I'm on my way, you know. And then after that, he took me to this tree. He had the gun and he was like, well, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to do what I want to do and then you are just going to keep quiet. Because should you scream, the other 2 guys are going to come and they're going to want to also do whatever they want and they're going to have to kill you. While he was busy, there's one of the guys who came looking for him. So he was shouting at him like, Bafo, you know. And he just said, keep quiet. Because the other guy was looking for him. Probably he also wanted to do whatever he wanted. And then he just said, keep quiet. And then after that, he gave me 50 rand, but he just threw it in the water. You know, Amaritz, they've got water. So he threw it there, and then he was like, he took the gun, and then he was like, go and take that money. That's when I just ran off. Luckily, there's a man who came, Apusha Iwubaro, and that was the man who helped me. And then, because I don't know where I was, I asked him where I was. He was like, calm down, tell me what's happening. And then I told him. Then he called his son and the friend. And then he was like, these guys are going to help you. And then He was like, you know what, you're not the first person. Every Tuesday, women are being left here, and we always have to find them and help them out. That's when I was like, I just need to get home. I don't know how, I just want to get home. Then the guys actually bang little like a glass of water, fridge water, and they're like, just drink and come down, we'll take you to the taxis. That's when I took a taxi. I was scared, I was shaking, but they made sure it was just a taxi with women. But you know, I felt like crying, I felt like screaming, because everyone was just coming in the taxi like it's normal. And for me, it was like, you know, I'm shaking, what just happened?
At that moment, Cindy was relieved to have been let go of her rapists without being killed.
It seems like in that area they are used to it, because that guy was like, people always park here. Like these quantums, they always park here. How is it that people can't see? Because we're also parking in front of the houses. How can't they see when cars are parking here? But I guess they just don't pay attention to that. Because I even asked them that if this is happening every Tuesday, what is it that you guys are doing about it? They said, Bona, they've went to the police station to try and tell them, go to that area, we're always finding people, this is what's happening, but nobody's willing to help them.
Still in a state of shock and trauma, Cindy pursued police assistance, but that didn't turn out the way she had hoped.
We went to Dobsonville, and then they were like, no, we need to take her to Orlando. It's a case, yes, Orlando. And then we went to Orlando. When we got to Orlando, they were like, no, she must go to Dube. It happened in Dube. When we got to Dube, the guys were like, no, this is a satellite. We don't deal on a case, Angie, you know? And the guys were saying, Dobsonville, they just got in the car and they drove off. They're like, I'm tired of taking this lady everywhere. So they just left me there. And the satellite does not have cars. It's just a small police station for certifying and stuff. And they actually had to try and check if there is a car available to fetch me, to take me to Orlando, back to Orlando. And I waited up until, I think it was around 4, because this whole thing happened at 10 in the morning. And I haven't eaten because I left the house running, saying I'm just going to fetch my daughter, I'm coming back. And at the same time, I'm dirty, you know. I'm smelly, like, you know, I felt filthy. And after that, a car came around 4 and they took me to Orlando, back to Orlando. I sat at Orlando and I was assisted around 6. And then from then they took a statement up until around 7. And then from that time, I had to wait for somebody who was going to fetch me and take me to Bara.
So how does someone who was on her way to Soweto to fetch her daughter, only to fall in the hands of rapists who left her stranded in the middle of Soweto with her only hope of justice being shredded by the police officers who took her from one place to another before they could assist her, gain strength to face life the following day? Did you have to call the radio for the law to take its course?
Yes, that's how I felt.
What did the MEC do so that their case is being dealt with or being attended to?
Okay, like ever since it happened, I've been going through my identity parade, where if somebody's arrested, I need to go and identify the person. If that's the person, they do check on us in terms of the case is this far, this is what's been happening, you know. They always update us every time we go for our counseling sessions. So basically, we are not like a family, you know, a family that's been through the same thing. So for me to talk about it, it's easy because I'm talking to people who know what I'm talking about. So yeah.
And the guys that did what they did to you, did they ever get arrested?
No. So far, we haven't got anyone. So I'm still going through this process of going to do identity parade. So yeah, we're still waiting. But I've got that hope that they're gonna get them, because of the way they are hands-on the case, you know. And every time we're meeting, they keep us updated all the time that this is how far we're getting, this is what's happening, you know. Yeah.
Are you scared for your safety? Are you worried?
Yeah, very, very. You know, there's a time when I was talking to my group, and I was telling them, like, they were asking us, what is it that that should be done for us to feel safe? And I was like, the thing is, even if you're in a taxi, you know, the safety is only outside the taxi. There's cops, there's everything they can see. But we need something that's going to show us inside the taxi, you know, that's going to keep us safe inside the taxi. So I think ever since we spoke about that, they're trying to do whatever they can, because I always share my views, like this is what I think should be done, because I really don't feel safe anymore, whether I'm walking, whether I'm going to the taxi rank, you know, whether even if it's just a neighbor's car, like, or somebody that I know who wants to give me a lift, I don't feel safe anymore.
Cindy refuses to be a statistic of crime, so she is using her story to empower other victims of rape. She is now a peer counselor at Ikaya Letemba, a center that offers support and safety to victims of gender-based violence. Cindy is one of many women who endure the unjust treatment that women and children in South Africa go through daily. Many choose to remain silent due to the stigma that's attached to rape. By sharing her story for the first time on the show, Cindy is hoping to inspire other victims of this sort of crime to speak out and seek justice. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the show with me, Bulem Molebatsi. Today we invite you to assist our featured guests in crime prevention by doing your bit to combat crime in your communities. The next story gives us an insight on the challenges that taxi drivers and taxi owners face in their line of duties. This is the story of Zotwa Shabalala.
Yebo mancane savakashela uwena kwenze njani hayi ngizwile abathi ufuna umfweni usewumkhuvu awukahle mucabanga la emagceni agajeni mina ngibona kanjalo hayi ungathatha yona lenkabe yakho ethembe kakhulu ufezile ingene hayi ke mancane musukukhathazeka uma ufuna usizo vele ushaya ucinga uthi hello Ndlovu sizwana hayi bambe ngakho number 1.
Meet Lungahlongwane, a brother, a friend, a much-loved community member. To his mother, words are just not enough to describe him.
He would like to crack jokes and laugh very loud and very respectful. He idolized his father. His father was his role model. He did everything like his father. He would talk like him, he would make jokes like him. He looked like him, exactly like him, that it was scary. And everything that his father did, he would talk about it. But the taxi business, he always said, if I can bring my father's legacy back. That was his dream.
We'd be in the passage when we had our meetings and he'd arrive and he'd be like, the first day they ask you guys, like, who are you? And then everybody would be like, rugby, ambitions of a young kid. And he'd just be like, on
his birthday, he spent it with his friend Thokozane, whose birthday is the next day. So he was very happy on that day because it's the day he got the taxi. So he was busy, he went to register it and do all sorts of things. So he was the most happiest person ever on that day. It was his final year. He was doing transport management and very excited that he had to say, yeah, Ma, this year I'm doing aircrafts and railways. And I remember I said to him, don't focus more on the taxi side, focus on your final year. It's the last straw, just do it this year. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think actually that was our last conversation because that was the last day I saw him.
When I got the call, I didn't really know how to react because I felt it was a joke. Still do at times, you know, I call him, get the voicemail, and then just, you know, get back to reality a bit.
The first thing when I get to work every day is call him. So on that day, it was the same. I tried to call him, his phone didn't go through. And I thought, oh, well, maybe it's off. And maybe 10 minutes later, I get a call from a friend of mine, Bongane, and he says, Shizotwa, something has happened. And I said, what? He said, no, there at USAVE there was a shooting. And I said, yo, and Lunga stops there. And he says, yeah, Lunga is also one of the injured people. So it was like he was just shot and he was just injured. And I said, is there an ambulance? Did somebody call an ambulance? And he said, yeah, they're busy with him. So a colleague of mine took me there. But on our way, calls were coming through. Zotwa, where are you? And I was coming. I kept on saying, I'm coming, you know. And I still called some of the people who were already there and asked them, which hospital are they taking him to? And nobody was telling me which hospital until from Jet Park to Soweto, I started thinking probably something happened. Why is this ambulance not taking him to a hospital? And when I got there, it was full. It was packed. And I saw the same friend that called me. And I said to him, Bongane, is he alive? And then he nodded his head. And I wanted to run to see him, but they blocked me and they didn't want me to go. I still fought them. They didn't want me to go, and they took me to a car and they let me sit there. And then we stayed there until the car from the mortuary came to pick them up. There were 3 bodies lying there, but I never saw those bodies because they stopped me from seeing them.
No one has to go through such just because of money. Because at the end of the day, the people who are doing this are influential in other people's lives. Like, he was just trying to provide for his family. It's not easy, but it's life. What can you say? Maybe the world didn't actually deserve him. He's in a better place anyway.
I wish I could sleep, Jay, not wake up and not think, not know, not understand what's happening around me. It's been tough because people have been scared of me. There's people that I was friends with that I've never seen since Lunga passed away because they are scared to look at me in the eye. There's people who've told me, we've been running away from you. It's been hell on earth.
It's now been 5 months since Lunga's passing. His mother has since left his room, as it were, the day he left for work and never returned. This is just some of the ways she's coping with his sudden death. Let's take a break. We continue with the story when we return. Welcome back to the last leg of our show. During the recording of this show, Zotwa invited us to take the first step to recovery with her. Just 5 months after the passing of her son, she is determined to carry on with his legacy. Have a look.
We are going to USAVE Mfulo, where Lunga was shot on the 5th of April. I've never been to that place. I've been running away from that area ever since it happened. But today I asked God to give me strength to go and go past that place so that I face it once and for all. It's not an easy thing to do, but I have to do it. Even in counseling, I was advised that at some point I will have to face it. Okay, so we will go past there, and then I will put some flowers there. On the video, they are seated here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is the...
You say this is you say, yeah.
Okay.
So they stand here, I guess.
Okay. Do you need an Mary to come up?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to do it. We can.
No, I want to.
Are you okay?
Yeah, as difficult as it is, I need to do it.
Okay. We'll do it together. They're just behind us. She'll get out and come with us. Let me hold this for you.
I wonder which side was it, but I think it's here.
This side
It's
is
here. We can ask maybe a person. They will know. Here they know.
Okay.
Maybe
So
we
this
can.
is where they were parked.
We were this side, but I think this is where it happened here.
Here
But I'm
where
not
we-
sure. Yeah, where we parked. Yeah.
Oh, so this is where they were shot.
Yes. Got the feather. Got the Holy Spirit. Unkulunkulu ndodana. Unkulunkulu muhle. Unkulunkulu muhle. Unkulunkulu kaIsrayeli. Kuqeba balapho umphefumulo kalungu. Waphumela khona Jehova. Cela ukuthi ungipholise. Cela ukuthi ungenze ngamkele. Cela ukuthi ungiphandle. Cela ukuthi ungiphe isibindi. Cela ukuthi ube nabo bonke abavela kule ndawo ngegama elihle. Ngama lomfowethu Jesu Kristu waseNazaretha.
How do you feel now?
At least I've faced it and I've done it. Yeah. I'm sure I can do it again now. I can go past here. Oh. I was very angry. I was very angry that somebody on that day decided they're gonna kill my child that I've raised so well, that I've paid so much, that I've invested so much in. And those people today, probably they're sitting with their kids, and Mina, this was my only child. And it broke me and it killed me. I'm no longer the same person. I don't regret that he went into the industry. No, it was his dream. And you can't stop people from their dreams. That's why I supported him all the way, you know? And boys are not like girls. Boy likes when it's dangerous, you know? As much as he was a fragile child who didn't fight, but he wanted to prove himself that he's a man. And I wouldn't have stopped it from it. But if I knew this was gonna happen, probably I could have stopped him. It's said that we as South African, we kill our own. The black on black violence, it is still happening. And it's very, very, very sad. So wherever they are, I hope this touches their hearts and stop the killing, because this was a child. 22 years is still a child. Probably they've got years in the industry. He just joined and his future and his hopes were in this business. But where is he today? He's on the grave with his father, and it's very sad. It is very sad. they have killed me when they killed my child. It's sad when you see Uber drivers and those meter taxi drivers killing each other. There's no white people there. It's only black people. I wish with my child's blood that has spilled there to Mufulo, this industry can be peaceful and it can grow.
To honor Lunga's memory, Zodwa is now heading his late son's taxi business, despite the war and intimidation that exists in the taxi industry.
I am continuing with his taxi, and I'm going to make it grow, this industry, in his name. Nothing scares me. I wanted to go and tell them they can finish off what they've started. They can kill me. I'm not scared. For my child, I can go do anything. I have realized, as painful and as hard as it is. But I know he loved me, and I know he spoke highly of me, and I'm not gonna let his spirit down.
We hope the stories you've seen today hit home and you're inspired to join crime prevention initiatives in your communities. Crime affects us all. We can all put a stop to it if we work together. Thank you for watching today. Until next week, it's a goodbye.